Hey everyone, it's Nelson Miller here with PA Creative. Today I want to talk about something that can be kind of controversial, but the best Divi hosting provider for Divi, and this is my recommendation. There's a lot of good hosts. There's an awful lot of bad hosts out there. So kind of treat this as a way of saying these are the ones I recommend. These are the ones that you should please stay away from. But then if there's something in between that I don't mention that you like, then that's okay. But these are the ones that I use and are going to work, and the ones that are not going to work. All right, well, let's get started and give you an overview of some good Divi hosting options here. All right, so we all know that in order for our websites to work properly, we need a good hosting provider. This is where our website files are stored. It's where, when a user comes to your site and, clicks on a page, everything gets pulled in from the server. So there's all these factors that need to be taken into consideration. It has to be fast, secure, reliable, and all that. And of course, we all want it to be affordable too. So let's take a look at some of the best options that will work with Divi, the Divi theme, and the Divi builder. I guess first, I'm going to show you just really quick a couple of different types of hosting, just to give you that little bit of background. Over on our blog post, which we'll have linked in the description down below, we'll have this. So let's just go over this quick. Just, you can skip ahead if you think you've already got it, but I think it's helpful to understand. So first of all, there's cPanel hosting. This was really a big thing for a long time, until recently. The price of cPanel went way up. cPanel is control panel, so think of it as, the main place where you do literally everything for your website. So a lot of the hosting companies out there that are the really cheap ones, they'll have you log in and you end up going into cPanel, and it's kind of like, from 2000 era. It's like really old and outdated. But there you can do pretty much everything you need to do. That's cPanel. And cPanel, used to be popular, like I said, but now we're just moving on to some different things. And that's usually with shared hosting. cPanel is usually added as part of the shared hosting package of these websites. So speaking of shared hosting, it's just how it sounds. It's when your website is hosted on a server that other websites are hosted on also. This obviously makes it cheaper because you're sharing, the server space with other people, and you'll see these things like 99 cents and $1.99 a month and all that stuff. And when you're starting out and you're on a budget and all that stuff, you're like, wow, this is great. I can get hosting for this much. This is amazing. And it won't take you long to realize that was the worst mistake ever, and you really get what you pay for. I totally get it, if your company's starting out or you have a blog or your church website or whatever, that you want to save money, but just take my advice and don't do it. Don't do it. Anything that cheap is going to be cheap quality, and you're just going to have problems, and it's really not going to do what you want your website to do. Anyway, so yeah, even like sometimes your server, like if you have a great website, but someone else on your shared hosting gets hacked or has a terrible website and things are, it's getting hacked, and, they can actually get into yours. So keep that in mind. Managed WordPress hosting is kind of the thing now where it's specifically for WordPress. Now there's all these other platforms out there that need hosting too, obviously. But for WordPress specifically, there are a lot of providers now, and basically it kind of takes it to the next level. It gives a dedicated, hosting environment, a server that's not shared. Usually, I think, I'm not saying all of them, but mostly, and it gives you kind of some extra things like it'll automatically keep you on the correct version of PHP that WordPress should be running on, for example. Or when WordPress releases security updates, it'll update those for you, things like that. So that's managed WordPress hosting. But then there's cloud-based hosting. This is kind of like, I guess you might say, the best, or I guess you could think of it as unlimited as far as the server goes. And the idea here is that there's hundreds of individual servers that kind of work together as one giant server. And it's not up in the clouds, it's actually on Earth here. But obviously we say that because it's so interwoven and linked. It's just out there. We say it's out there on the internet, and a lot of it is running on like Amazon's cloud, and Microsoft and Google, these big companies have these clouds, what they call, and then it's really just a bunch of servers. So if you get a spike in traffic, you won't really have to worry because it's usually adjustable with that type of thing. Now, all of this to say, what do I recommend? It's kind of interesting because you notice what I just talked about, these 4 different ones. cPanel, I used to use that, and you just get tired of it. But shared hosting, managed WordPress hosting, and cloud hosting. I just thought of it before I recorded this here, but the one that I use is Siteground, and it combines all of those. It is, in a sense, shared hosting, not in any traditional sense, not in any of the bad ways. It's all the positive ways. And it's also WordPress hosting, managed WordPress hosting. And it's also cloud-based hosting. So this is really unique. Siteground is in a really unique position. They just recently moved their servers to Google Cloud. And so it's really exciting because, it's so good now with Divi. It's just incredible to use this with Divi. So I use SiteGround pretty much for all my client sites, unless there's some reason, or if they had their own or whatever. Their support is incredible. Like I said, their servers are now in the cloud. It's optimized for Divi. In the Divi support center under the system status, it's going to get, you can get the green dots, the Divi recommended server resources. You're going to get them automatically with SiteGround. The other advantage is that Divi recently partnered with SiteGround over here on elegantthemes.com/hosting. You can see that these 3 companies are here at this point, and SiteGround is one of them. So that just basically proves what I'm saying, that they're recommended for Divi here. And it goes over all of the things, the quick setup. I think they install the Elegant Themes API key now for you, and I don't know, something like that. I haven't used that feature because I already have an account, but if you're new to this, it's just going to be a really, really good option for you. It's the #1 recommended host in all the Divi Facebook groups. Anytime you see conversations, you'll see 100 different recommendations, but the one that always comes out on top is always SiteGround. Now let's see, there are other ones that are recommended. Like I said, I'm recommending this because I use it, and because I believe in it, and because I have experience with it and know what it does, and I can 100% recommend it. I have no negative things to say. If you need good hosting, if you're stuck on one of the ones I'm going to mention down below, then go ahead and click this green button right here. That's my affiliate link, and I'll get a bonus for referring you, and you'll get amazing hosting. And I say that's a win-win. I'm not just out here. I don't do affiliate marketing. I only do it because this is what I use and recommend, and because almost every day I'm referring someone to SiteGround, someone who contacts me for support or whatever, because their website isn't working and they're getting the spinning wheel of death and it's so slow and this and that and one another thing. And I say, you're using Bluehost or you're using HostGator. Do you realize that those are the worst possible hosts to use? And so they say, well, what do I recommend? And so that's why I have this affiliate link, so I can give it out. All right. So anyway, the next one is Cloudways. I use Cloudways as well. So Cloudways is a bit unique. So Cloudways is like an interface for cloud servers. So let's go there. So first of all, Cloudways has every possible feature you could need. Like I said, it uses the cloud, and it's also very affordable. I mean, we're talking very affordable compared to any of these. Here they are. Here's the partners: Google Cloud, DigitalOcean, AWS, Vultr, Malcare, Anode, StackPath. So anyway, I use DigitalOcean, as my server, and it basically gives you the interface for your hosting account. Like it's just a really nice user interface. So I'm not going to log in and show you right now, but take my word for it. If your website is growing, you have a lot of traffic, you're serious about it, and you're even more serious than, I don't know, you want a cloud, basically. If that fits you, if you're going for SiteGround or Cloudways. But I'm saying if you want to scale and scale and scale, and for some reason you don't like SiteGround, then Cloudways is your next option. Highly recommended. Again, this is my affiliate link to Cloudways. Now, there are other ones, because if I don't say these, I'll get yelled at. A lot of my buddies out there in Facebook land use WP Engine, Flywheel, and I just noticed Pressable is one of the other ones that is recommended by Divi at this point. So Flywheel, Pressable, SiteGround, and then WP Engine as well. Like I said, if I don't mention them, I'll get yelled at. I'm sure there's some other ones that you'll yell at me in the comments, like, why didn't you mention this? But honestly, I'm basing this on my personal experience and the personal experience of my friends and colleagues. So if there are ones outside of that, then that's great that you like them. It doesn't matter to me. And in fact, you can go tell other people to use them as well. I'm just saying the ones that I have experience with, or the ones that people I trust have experience with. Now, the worst possible ones, this is the last thing we'll talk about here. You can see that I don't like certain ones here, and it's not an opinion. It's not like I have some gripe with them or anything like that. It's just that they don't work, and it's just that you're going to have problems with them, and you're not going to be able to use Divi with them. Now, every 1 in 10,000 posts on Facebook, someone will say, I have Bluehost for 140 different sites and I have no problem. And what I would say to that is, you don't realize that you have a problem because you're so engrossed with them. And I hate to say that, but that's the way it is. Bluehost, HostGator, and GoDaddy are not compatible with Divi. You will have spinning wheel of death issues. You will have PHP that is so outdated that it's really unprofessional of them. You're just going to have slow server speeds, just in general. Your website's just going to load slow. I feel bad for people that have them. I feel bad because the marketing, you see these ads on TV and YouTube for these companies. And let me tell you something. When you see ads for these 3 companies all the time, I want you to think about where the money is going that they're taking from their customers. It's not going to their server and infrastructure, like, for example, SiteGround is, but it's going to making stupid ads. So just think about that, and that applies to other things besides hosting, but just think about that. I feel bad when you have HostGator and Bluehost because they're owned by EIG. They are an umbrella company, and you can go here and read all about it. They have bought up all these other companies, and there's a whole list of them. Here's just a list. There's just so many. There's Bluehost. There's just a lot. Most of these will have those, 99 cent a month and $1.99 deals. Start Logic. There's so many here. There's a lot, but just avoid. That's basically a list of ones to avoid. But anyway, that's my take on hosting. And if you're wondering which ones are the cheapest, it's not going to be one of these 3. It's going to be SiteGround and Cloudways, of all things. The ones I recommend and the ones that I think are the best are actually the most affordable. How can that be? I'm talking about the most affordable, good hosts. And I'm just going to really quickly show you what the pricing can be here. I don't understand how they're getting so much, but this here is Pressable. 1 site, $14 a month for this many visits and this much storage. $24 a month for 1 site again. 3 sites and then 10 sites. So there you go. And then Flywheel is just, to me, I just don't understand why it's so expensive. But 10 sites, $115 a month. You got to be obviously making sure you're charging your clients a lot. But even just one site there is a lot, in my opinion. And then Siteground is just a lot more affordable. Let's see, where's their pricing? Oh, I have to click on this one. So then here is, they always give you the discount for the first, 1 to 3 years. So you can select 3 years and get, $9.99 a month. It's going to be $24.99 a month after that. But hey, you get unlimited websites. And they have all the collaboration features. You can even have your clients log in and collaborate, and you can just, oh yeah, it's just great. I would recommend GoGeek if you have a bunch of clients. I mean, you could have tons of client sites on there, and you might say, well, $40 a month, well, that's still cheaper than these other ones. Way cheaper. And then Cloudways, you can do the same thing. I mean, it starts at like $10 a gig of storage. I mean, it's just really good pricing. So yeah, I mean, if it's going to come down to pricing, if you're looking at it like, I want a really good host, but I want the most affordable, then here you go. All right, so there you go. Those are some of the recommendations that I have. And again, there's going to be some that that you would like to add and you wish that I would have covered and things like that, but that's okay. Feel free to comment if you really recommend something. That's okay. And I just feel really passionately about it because I don't take customer work on like some of those sites like HostGator and iPage, Bluehost. Anytime there's a support question with any of our products, it's usually, I will almost say almost always the hosting. I mean, it's just that bad. So anyway, this is why I feel so passionately about it. All right, well, I hope that you have good hosting, and if not, maybe we can talk about more hosting related things and how to migrate and things like that. Let me know if that's something you're interested in, and if not, that's okay. We'll see you guys in the next video.